Welcome to the Fit Dad Nation podcast, forging strong fathers and raising a stronger generation. It's time to get up or shut up with your host, Steve Roy.
Hey guys, Steve here, host of the Fit Dad Nation podcast. Welcome to the show. Thank you for listening. Before we get into today's show, I want to invite all you dads who are listening right now. I know times are crazy right now. There's a lot going on in the world. You know, our routines are literally upended. Gyms are closed still. You know, stores are, we're not getting out to stores to buy food. Like, just there's so many things going on with this whole coronavirus thing. And so, a lot of men are turning to online fitness, online classes, and online communities. So if you're looking for something like that, we've got a great community of dads over at the Fit Dad Nation. And we do a lot of stuff in our private Facebook group called the Fit Dad Base Camp. So you can apply to that if you're looking to put in some work and be part of a tribe of guys all kind of working on the same things. It's fitdadnation.com/community. And so today I want to talk about something. I was actually reading through some old comments and some emails, and this is a kind of a long overdue show. But I wanted to talk about common mistakes that are being made from a fitness perspective for guys that are either newish to fitness or getting back into it after a long layoff. And I'm going to gear this show towards dads in their 30s and 40s. To be honest, in our 20s. We can pretty much get away with anything and see results. I remember just training 7 days a week. I could eat literally anything, and I would just beat the hell out of my body, and I made amazing progress. When you're younger, you can do those things. Now, things are a lot different, and so we have to be a lot more careful. And so now more than ever, there's so much information and so much misinformation online that it's almost impossible to know what to believe or who to believe. And so, just there's so much confusion. So I just want to clear up some things. And, if you know anything about me or my business, I teach the basics. And I believe that, most of what we're seeing online is unnecessary. So I like to keep things simple. I think simple works really well. And so, I want to share some common mistakes that I see all the time that, should you just make some tweaks to these, you'll start seeing much more progress. So, these aren't in any particular order, and I've got 10 mistakes that I want to talk about. So, the first one is not having a why and a goal. So, when I say not having a why, it means you don't have a reason to get fit, to change your fitness, right? So, let's take a guy, a dad of 3 named Chris. He's been sedentary for the last 15 to 20 years, driving an hour each way to work, sitting at a desk all day, he's just getting by, right? So in order for him to change, he's got to make some changes, not only to his mindset, but his habits, right? You're not going to wake up one day and Chris isn't going to say, you know what, today's the day I'm going to shed these 40 pounds that I've been carrying around for the last 10 years because I'm just tired of being fat, right? That's usually not enough of a motivator to make you change what you've been doing for 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, even 30 years. That's not enough. Typically, what I've seen is it takes some kind of really emotional event or some kind, we'll call it an epiphany, to want to make a change. And it's got to be so strong that you're willing to make the sacrifices and get out of your comfort zone. Because it's, we get into ruts, right? We get into ruts and we just end up kind of plodding our way through life. And, a year turns into 5, turns into 10, and we're still doing the same shit. So having a why, like a really strong why you want to change now after all these years, it's going to require a lot of work, as you know. Why are you going to do that? What's going to get you up earlier, that extra 45 minutes earlier when you're already exhausted, right? What is it going to be? And that's a very personal thing. There's no right answer. Everyone's got their own thing, and a lot of people, unfortunately, will never find it. So they go through kind of half-assing workouts, half-assing their diets. They're not consistent, right? Because there's no real driver behind it. There's a really good book called Start With Why by Simon Sinek that I read a couple years back that was really good, that would help you kind of figure these things out. But, honestly, my best advice would be take some time for yourself and really think about what it is that you want and why is it important for you. Because, every person on this earth wants to look good and feel good. I mean, there isn't a person alive that would say, yeah, I love being ugly and fat. It's just not happening. So it's not happening. It's because, it's a big topic, but, people are lazy. People don't want to put in the work. It's confusing. There's full of excuses. All those things are preventing us, which is why a lot of, at least this country is overweight. What is it, 60 some odd percent or something like that, overweight. It's because we're just not doing the things we need to do. So find your why and then have a goal. Figure out what it is. Do you want to be able to run a 5K? Do you want to just lose 20 pounds? Do you want to be able to do 5 pull-ups or 50 push-ups? Figure out what that goal is. And this isn't a show on goal setting. I mean, I do believe in SMART goal setting as an acronym, SMART. But you need to have a goal. It's just, you can't just be like, oh, certainly like to feel better, and I probably like to lose a few pounds, right? That's not the ideal way to look at it. But I think the more important thing to look at is finding the underlying reason why. So that's number 1. Number 2, doing only cardio because you think that's the way to burn fat. This one just drives me crazy. And this isn't as prevalent in men as it is in women, I've seen over the years, because people, you think, well, if I get on the treadmill for an hour, I'll burn a bunch of calories and I'll lose fat, right? And it's, obviously not that simple. But I'll just say this, that steady state cardio, I mean, you've heard it before. I mean, it's gotten a bad rap. It's great for health, overall health, general health, heart health, right? Nothing wrong with walking. I'm not a fan of running because I think of over time the damage it does to your, your hips and your knees and your ankles and all that stuff. I just don't think that it's good for your body. But there's nothing wrong with, walking, hiking, getting on a bike or a rower, even an elliptical. But it's certainly not optimal if your goal is to, 1, shed body fat, and 2, add lean muscle, which no matter how you slice it, whether you say you want to tone up, you want to cut up, whatever the term is, it doesn't matter. It's all the exact same thing. Lose fat, add muscle. Man, woman, doesn't matter. That's the goal. So you have to make strength training, resistance training a priority. Does it have to be with weights? Doesn't have to be, but ideally, yes. You would use some kind of form of resistance, whether it's dumbbells, kettlebells, could be resistance bands, it could be even a suspension trainer. And you can do it with body weight exercise. I've got plenty of videos and resources on body weight training where you can manipulate it where you are getting a lot of resistance. So that's your number 1 goal. Again, and if there's any women listening to this show, that's at the top of your list as well. Please stop wasting your time on the treadmill at the gym. If you show up to the gym, and I know a lot of people do this because maybe, 1, you don't even know what you're doing, so you go to your comfort zone, which is the treadmill or the cardio section, and you just do that because you're afraid to go out and actually mess around with the machines or the weights because you might look stupid, or you don't know what you're doing, or you might feel like you're too weak, or people are judging you because you're out of shape, right? Those are all normal things, and I get it. But you have to make that a priority. So resistance training, 3 to 4 days a week. If you're new to it, full body training is just fine. Doing all your body parts at once. You don't have to do a bro split with, chest and tris, back and bis, legs and shoulders. I did that for years. Right? You don't need to do anything like that necessarily. I do all kinds of splits, but when you're starting out, or if you're just getting back into it after a while, it's fine doing a full body workout. 3 to 4 days a week is plenty. And then sure, supplement it with cardiovascular exercise. Absolutely. For sure. All right. So let's move on. Number 3, not focusing on quality and quantity of your foods. So it's not one or the other. You can't eat in a calorie deficit, but eat a bunch of Pop-Tarts and Doritos and think that you're going to hit your fitness goals. Will you lose weight if you're in a consistent calorie deficit? Sure. You'll lose weight. But you don't want to lose weight. You want to lose fat. There's a big difference, and I've talked about this before. I have a whole video on the difference between losing fat and losing weight. You want to lose body fat. So, coming into fitness and wanting to out-train your diet. Let's be honest. Most guys eat like shit, right? We eat what's put in front of us. We eat too much of it, and we don't want to change it because why? It's fucking delicious, right? We want to drink our beers. We don't want to change those things, so I'll just cut back on all these things just a little bit, and then I'll just outwork it in the gym. And I think that's a mistake. I honestly do. Now, you can make a case for eating whatever you want in moderation. Sure, that's kind of the trend right now on social media. Yeah, it's just total calories. That's it. There's a lot of big name Instagram coaches that are talking about that, and it actually really annoys me because that's not the whole story. I think you really have to focus on quality now more than ever. Not COVID now, but at our age now. Start really cleaning up your diet. Our bodies literally are what we're putting into it, and so you can't eat a Egg McMuffin for breakfast and drink those heavy ass coffee drinks, crappy diet, Panera lunches, junky dinners, and expect to have optimal health or even come close to reaching your goals. So focus on, first of all, your quality of your foods, and you all know what to eat and you know what not to eat. The packaged foods, basically the whole middle section of any supermarket, isn't the best option. Fresh fruits, vegetables, meats, fish, eggs, all those types of things. You could take it a step further. I'm a big fan of like an ancestral approach to eating, which is either like a paleo or a primal diet where we're not eating starches, beans, grains, white flour, that stuff like that, sugars. And I think that works extremely well. I feel great when I eat that way. And it's something that I've been teaching in my programs for years, and it works really well. But so you have to focus on quality and then quantity, obviously. If your goal is to lose fat, you have to be in a calorie deficit consistently. You can't do it for 3 days. You can't do it for a week. You can't do it for 2 weeks. You have to be in a consistent deficit, and you have to track it, right? We have no idea. Not only do we not know what we're eating, how much is in it, but even when we do start tracking it, unless we're super precise, we have no clue. So you have to get a really good understanding of what's in your food. Even the food labels are off up to 30%, what I've read. So even then, it's flawed. So you'll know when you start to lose weight if you're kind of in that deficit. But a good place to start is just tracking it on MyFitnessPal. It's not an exact thing, but it's way better than just guessing because most people really underestimate the amount they're eating. And so they're like, well, I don't know why I can't lose weight. I don't know why I can't lose weight. I'm only eating this. But when you start tracking your food, and it does suck. It's not fun to track your food. You're going to see, holy shit, I am eating a lot more than I thought. And then you can make adjustments accordingly. Number 4. Following random YouTube programs. This is kind of an afterthought I threw in here, but nonetheless, it's important. Because there's so much information out there, because we just don't know who to listen to, it's so easy to go on to YouTube, type in whatever you're trying to do, and find some quote-unquote expert. Yes, there are plenty of experts out there, but there are a lot of idiots out there. So you can't just follow random programs and expect to see progress. As a coach, obviously, I'm going to tell you that it makes sense to do something that's far more customized to you and your goals. It's not always going to happen, but just kind of pinballing around the internet and doing programs that sound cool or your buddy's doing it isn't the best option. So figure out what it is you're trying to do, and then do some research. Take a look, and see what's out there for what you have, and then you have to do your homework, and you have to find someone that's putting out quality content and someone that you can trust, and you have to go from there. Okay, this is a big one now. Next, I want to talk about being consistent and being patient. Without consistency, the intensity doesn't matter. You've probably heard the saying, consistency beats intensity every day of the week. And I believe that. I do believe that you have to train with intensity. You have to be intentional about how you're training. But if you're not consistent about it, it doesn't mean shit. You have to stick to it. And I'm not talking about a couple of months. This is a long-term thing. This is your body, right? There's nothing else that you have other than your health. So look at it like that. Okay, and whatever you do, I don't care what it is, whatever you find that works for you, Just be ruthlessly consistent with it. That's absolutely important. And then on the second part of that, just be patient. This shit takes time. I mean, it really does. I've been doing this for 25 years, I guess, training myself. And yeah, I mean, it's just a numbers game. You have to just put in the hours. You have to put in the time and stop worrying about instant results, and we'll stop worrying about your day-to-day weight or your day-to-day inches, right? Start doing the right things, do them consistently, and then be patient because results will come. I know everybody wants instant results. I get it, but that's just not how it works. So you have to just get that into your mind. Next up, I want to talk about guys that train like you're still in your 20s. I see this a lot, actually. So many of us want to kind of relive our glory days back when we were in college or back when we were in 20s and we felt like we were on top of the world. We could do anything. We were strong as shit. We were studs back then, right? But you can't train like that when you're up into your late 30s, 40s, or beyond, because our bodies have taken years and years of abuse, and a lot of it is sitting. And, that's the abuse. It comes in the form of sitting. And so, yeah, it's damaged a lot of our bodies. And so instead of trying to lift with your ego and hurting yourself, which is extremely common, right? Man, I used to bench 315 when I was, right out of college. I'm like, yeah, but that was, 23 years ago. Who cares? Take it where you're at right now. I don't care if it's 95 pounds. You've lost a lot of strength. Let's not get injured. Like that's the goal. So, I would say instead of worrying about your numbers, worrying about your ego, focus on just movement basics. Focus on mobility. Focus on stretching. Almost all of us have some kind of nagging injury that's recurring and it's been around forever, right? Like my rotator cuff still bothers me from 25 years ago. I tore it a long time ago, and I still feel it if it's not really, really thoroughly warmed up. So, a lot of us have something like that, whether it's a hamstring, whether it's, your back or your neck or your shoulder, a lot of shoulder injuries, right? Please just focus on on just movement to start with. Get a mobility routine down. Get a foam roller out. Start stretching every single day. It's one of the things we do a lot of in our Inner Circle program, our private membership program. We do a lot of mobility in there, and that's part of every challenge we run is mobility. It doesn't take a long time. It's not the most exciting thing, right? But it can make a huge difference in how you actually feel, injury prevention, and even your ability to make progress. Having false expectations is another one. So sometimes when we go into training, we go into some kind of workout program, we think that we're going to see these incredible results because, Joe Schmo over here online has got awesome results, or these testimonials on the sales page are incredible. Like all these guys my age are just losing tons of weight. They look ripped at 45, and holy shit, I could do that, right? Just keep, a few things in mind, right? A lot of the testimonials, and while there are, a lot of real testimonials, there are a lot of fake testimonials that have been doctored up that aren't even legit, that aren't even associated with the particular program. And it's all because people are, trying to make money off of it. So what do you think is going to sell more? Someone with subpar results, but, they're working consistently at it, or someone that's had phenomenal results in a month, and they can say, wow, Chris lost, 19 pounds in a month. Look at the transformation here. Just buy this program. It's only $100, and you can have this too, right? And I use testimonials. I use them too because why? They work. Mine are 100% legit. I don't post a ton of them. But, I don't want to give anybody false expectations like how, you're going to make these phenomenal changes in such a short amount of time if you put in the work, right? Can it happen? Sure. But you have to go into it thinking, okay, this is a long-term game. Stop looking at the internet. Stop looking at before and afters. Stop thinking, well, why can't I lose 30 pounds in a month like everybody else, right? It's just not going to happen, right? Without steroids, you're not going to see that kind of progress. Nobody wants to take steroids. This is ridiculous. I don't even want to talk about that. because that's just not what we're all about, right? We want to feel good, we want to look good, and we want to be healthy long term. We're going to do that through just consistent exercise and proper diet. So leave the false expectations at the door, please. All right. What I also want to talk about believing everything, and this is all kind of tied in together. But believing everything, or a lot of what you read or hear online. So, the internet is, it's notorious for bullshit. So many scammers, fake coaches. It's one of my pet peeves. I talk about it quite a bit. I post about it online because I just hate the thought of unsuspecting people getting taken advantage of because they don't know. They don't understand that it's not accurate. It's not legit. So you have to kind of take everything you read as, okay, what is this person trying to sell me? And I'm no different. I have a fitness business. I have to sell coaching. I have to sell programs. I have to sell memberships, right? So you have to take what I say with a grain of salt as well. But there's so much fucking garbage online that it's sickening to me. And there are plenty of reputable coaches. There are a ton. I know a lot of guys that do a great job, that are great coaches, but there's a lot more that aren't. So, please, stop listening to the masses, and especially stop listening to Facebook groups that aren't even run by fitness experts. I see this a lot. I'm part of, 4 or 5 dads groups that aren't fitness related, and I see it all the time. Guys asking, "Hey guys, I want to lose 30 pounds. What should I do?" Right? And then you get 100 comments from 100 different people with 100 different ideas. Right? Oh, well, the keto's the only, carnivore is the way to go now. Oh no, intermittent fasting. Oh no, the 5x5. Oh no, the P90X. You have to stop listening to that. You have to stop believing what people are saying unless they're qualified experts. So that's what I would say is, find some people that you trust, even if it's 1 or 2 people, and, again, do your homework, figuring out if this is the right person to help you, and then, kind of put the rest of that behind you. And it's hard to do. So much entertaining stuff out there online. There's so much entertaining fitness stuff out there. But a lot of it is just purely marketing driven. It's not actually, designed to necessarily help you. It's designed to line their pockets. And it's just, a lot of times it's just boilerplate garbage that's, you could get for free, no problem. So, okay, so there's that. I want to talk about the basics too. I believe this is number 9. I've done a show on this, on the basics, and I'm a huge believer in just following a few basic principles to live a healthy lifestyle. So it's easy to want to go out and buy supplements, to buy all kinds of workout gear, swag, anything you think is going to give you an edge, pre-workout, post-workout, BCAAs, protein powders, all that stuff, right? All that is unnecessary. All you need is consistent exercise and a quality diet, right? You need plenty of water, you need sun, you need sleep, you need to reduce your stress, right? Those are the basics. That's it. It's not sexy at all. It's boring to talk about, which is why we don't hear about it enough, because there's nothing to sell you if you focus on the basics, right? All the money comes from, you have to try this, you have to try this gadget, oh, this supplement just works wonders. 99% of that shit is garbage and unnecessary. And I'll say for guys that just getting back into fitness, or you are new to fitness, don't spend a dime on anything other than high quality food. Everything else is free. You can do bodyweight training at the park for free. You go outside, get fresh air and sunshine for free. You can drink water for free. Get more sleep, that's free. Reducing your stress, finding a way out, whether it's yoga or whatever, meditation, that's free. All that shit is free. Those are your basics. Make that the foundation of everything else, and I promise you'll just be fine. Lastly, I want to talk about excuses, right? Stop using your fucking excuses. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money to hire a trainer. I can't afford to go to the gym. I don't have any equipment. I don't know what I'm doing, right? All those things, while they may be true to some respect, they're still excuses. You have to cut through that. We all have excuses. We all have plenty of reasons why we can't do something. We don't find enough reasons why we can do something. So please, I mean, I've run over the years, I started this Fit Dad Nation 2014, and I've run polls, a lot of polls. I've got a ton of data, thousands of data points and surveys run, and it's filled with excuses. I don't have enough time. That's like probably the biggest one. I don't know how to eat. I don't know what to eat. Like, yes, you do. Stop eating like a fucking asshole. Everybody knows what they need to do. Everybody knows they need to exercise. Everybody knows they need to move more. Everybody knows they shouldn't stop eating fucking Cocoa Puffs and start focusing on high quality foods, right? That's not difficult. So, fuck it, right? Stop using excuses. That's your biggest one. It's your biggest takeaway right here. If nothing else, stop using all the shit you're coming up with why you can't be fit. Believe me, you can. Some of the busiest people in the world are very fit because they make time for it, and it's a priority. Okay? If fitness is a priority for you, which it should be, and if it's not, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not here to judge you, but let's face it, guys, this is all we got, right? This is all we got, our health. We want to live longer? Absolutely. Want to live better? Absolutely. Stop using your fucking excuses. Have any questions? Need help with anything? Shoot me an email, steve@fitdadnation.com. I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, if you want more information, check out the Fit Dad Basecamp group on Facebook. And don't forget to stop by fitdadnation.com. Until next time, keep kicking ass and taking the next step. You can do this, Dad.